Powered by Riverside FM.
Welcome back to Soul Fire Sessions. I'm Lady Rise, and this is The Calm and the Storm. Bring your sexy soul. Last episode's hard climax left us raw, real, and liberated. But what happens when self-doubt or sadness monsoons hit? Do you retreat or claim your sexy soul? Devar, Madam Amani, how's your storm readiness?
I'm always ready for the storm. Ready to burn the fire down like they did on the 4th of July, popping all them fireworks.
Yes.
Okay. Well, my storm didn't show up as thunder. It showed up as a mystery charge on my credit card labeled Inner Demons Deluxe Monthly Subscription. I said, "Excuse me?" And my bank account said, "You subscribe to doubt again." The shadows purred. This is your legacy. But I had to laugh because I'm never spiritually asleep. I've walked through hell in designer boots, thrifted of course, and came out sanctified. I sipped chamomile tea in chaos. I danced broken with full swagger. So I told that voice real quick, abundance is allergic to fear. And I'm full of faith. We're architects. We don't just survive storms. We design blueprints from the broken pieces. We're alchemists. Give me pain and I'll make poetry. Give me lack and I'll plant legacy. We're future ready, as Lady Rise always says, and poverty resistant.
Hey, poverty resistance.
That's what I'm talking about. That's some storm readiness right there.
I used to retreat. I used to pull back when the monsoons came, when imposters thoughts crept in or sadness showed up uninvited. I get quiet, not in peace but in pain. But now I don't run. I recognize the storm and I name it and I meet it with stillness. That's how I seduce my stillness. That's how I ground myself in the middle of the chaos. And if I'm honest, claiming my sexy soul wasn't soft, it was war. But I realized the storm can't drown what knows how to float.
Whew. Yes, gotta keep floating.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my shadows are still smoking from that climax. But the spiritual attack almost summoned my dragon. Exactly. So today isn't about avoiding storms, it's about becoming the eye, where chaos fuels your rise. So let's ignite. Let's talk about a couple of storms that rain on your parade. The sadness monsoon. Have you ever had sadness creep in for no reason at all?
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
Yes. Just the other day.
Right. It always catches me off guard though, so I'm not used to it, but it happens.
It happens. Even when we think everything's totally fine, a storm creeps in. And not crashing, but dripping. Heavy fog of sadness for weeks. You move like a sloth through syrup. Cancellations, you start canceling that thick syrup, yes. And picture a sloth trying to move through that.
Oh gosh.
That's crazy.
That's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
The cancellations, they pile up. You start ignoring the mirrors, that whisper, why rise? The world's too heavy. Oh, I've been there. Haven't we all?
Yes.
Tears falling for no reason. No reason at all. Just wait. You just feel heavy.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the dramatic crying into ice cream kind of sadness that I experienced. This was heavier, duller, like someone had poured concrete into my veins and replaced the air with cotton.
Wow.
Ouch.
That's deep. Yes. It had been 3 months since my ex left. 3 months since The life I meticulously built, the weekend routines, the future plans just evaporated. That shit's crazy when you're in something, you're in that routine, and then all of a sudden it's just stripped from under you. It's just
Right.
taken away. And then I was supposed to be getting better by now. At least that's what everyone else thought. They would subtly hit, "How are you doing?" with that crazy concerned look on their face. And I'd be like, "Oh, keeping busy." Keeping busy? That thought alone was exhausting.
So exhausting.
Yes. Getting out of bed felt like scaling a mountain. Not because I was physically tired, but because it was like, why bother? What was the purpose? Another day of exactly what?
Yeah,
It
being
was like I
mentally
didn't.
will make you
Exactly.
tired.
It's like, what am I doing this for? Same cycle, feel like a hamster going in a hamster wheel.
Right.
You're emotionally drained.
Exactly. It's emotional, physical, mental. It's all pieces of it. Yeah. So I felt meaningless. And the passions, they started collecting dust. I was just doing work that felt meaningless, tasks to trick off for a patron. And then throughout all that, trying to keep my passions and doing anything made my stomach churn. It was just like, what was the point? My house was messy, everything was stagnant. Dishes were piling up slowly. Laundry migrated from one basket to the maybe tomorrow chair. It's like I had to turn into Hercules to take a shower or brush my teeth. And the worst part wasn't even missing him specifically anymore. It was missing me, the version of me who had purpose. That's what we start to miss. You start thinking back how you felt before the crash out.
Right.
You lost yourself in it all.
Exactly.
Ever gonna get back there?
Exactly. It seems so far fetched and so far away, and you feel so heavy and down.
Mm-hmm.
I start looking back, missing that person who woke up with a spark, even just a tiny one. Even on my bad days, I still had a spark.
Right.
I looked forward to little things. I liked to try new recipes or planning trips. All that was gone. Even just watching a funny show, that person felt like a character from a story I read before. Now it's just a far fetched dream.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get out of the house, oh my gosh, that energy took it out of me. It felt like so fake. It was fake being around those people trying to make conversations, make it feel like I cared or like I
Right.
cared what they were saying. It felt like running a marathon after months in bed. So, of course, I'd cancel last minute, claiming a headache or something. And then the guilt trips piled up on top of me with the numbness. I'm a terrible friend. I'm a burden. You start to feel like you're just a burden on everybody. So then you don't even want to speak up.
Right.
And motivation wasn't just low, it was non existent. The gym membership, oh gosh, that gathered dust.
Sure did.
Yes.
Put some rocks and shit on that.
Right on top of it. It's like, where's that again? Buried.
Right. It adds into the tomorrow pile.
Exactly, with that laundry over there. And then books. I used to love to read my books. Those laid unopened. I would get a new book thinking I was doing something, gonna start something, and it'd be brand new, crispy. The cover never
Right.
broke open. And then even scrolling through social media, that felt like watching a vibrant, confusing party.
Wow.
It was like it was happening light years away through a thick, soundproof glass. Everyone else seeming to have direction, passion, joy, and I just had my bed, four walls, and the crushing weight of the hours stretching ahead. Empty and pointless.
And boy, do they drag when you're in that mind frame.
Yes, every second feels like a year. Like,
Yes.
dang, what a long year
Like,
this
is
has
it time
been.
to go to bed? When is it going to be time to go to sleep? Because
Exactly. Like, this is too much.
That was sacred. You didn't just tell a story, you let the wound breathe. And that kind of honesty, that's where real healing begins. You didn't hide from the monsoon, you stood in it. And somehow you reminded us that grief doesn't always need a solution. Sometimes it just needs a voice. So thank you for showing us what it looks like to feel deeply and still hold power. You didn't just survive that storm, you made it sacred.
Oh, yes. Yes, I had to get through it because even the smallest decisions, they felt overwhelming. It was like, why eat? Wh- What to, what to, what am I going to make next?
Right.
Reply to that text? That was like maybe never. The vibrant colors of the whole world seemed muted, and music sounded displeasing. Oof, didn't even want to turn the radio on, nothing.
Mm,
Food tasted bland, and sleep, there we go. It was my only escape. But
Hmm.
even that was restless and unsatisfying. It's like, what do
Right.
you do? But I wasn't crying every day anymore. I was just existing. The purpose had leaked out, leaving behind a heavy, hollow shell. Going through the motions, waiting for feeling, any feeling to break through the monotonous, crushing weight of the gray. So that unshakable sadness that your body feels, that is your storm mode.
Hmm.
Storm mode will have your body energy sinking like a stone. Your breath is shallow and ragged, and your soul fire dims to embers.
Yeah.
So when sadness hits your body, it becomes a biochemical battlefield. In your brain, your amygdala shrieks. And remember, the amygdala is the small shaped part of your brain that is central to emotions, fear, and motivation. So when you're feeling all that, imagine how your poor little part of your brain is just freaking out, spazzing
Right.
out.
That's probably why people get headaches right there when they're sad.
Exactly, because when we're going through all this, we only go off the physical and what we could see outside of us. We have to think healing is physical, mental, spiritual. It's all
Exactly.
that awareness. We have to be alert to all of it.
mm,
Yes.
So then your prefrontal cortex shuts down, and that's the part of the brain located at the frontal lobe, plays a crucial role in personality and decision making. It involves regulating emotions and behavior. So no wonder if jackasses are running around here with their head up their ass because their prefrontal cortex is shut the fuck down. Oh
Shut
gosh.
down. Oh my God.
Who knew?
Right. And then your cortisol floods. Remember, your cortisol is that steroid hormone referred to as your stress hormone, produced by the adrenal gland, and it plays a crucial role in regulating various bodily functions, such as your blood sugar levels, your blood pressure, metabolism, and your body's response to stress. So when your cortisol is flooded, oof, that
Right. Wow. You really turned sorrow into sacred soil, Lady Rise. We have
yeah.
to remember sometimes sadness shows up with a smile.
Yeah, and it was a storm where I nearly let self-doubt bury me. So with that storm raging, I had to pause hard and embrace the climax. I
Yes.
called out my cowards, laughed at their lame ass script, invited my inner child. I maximized or moaned my boundaries, and I activated absolutely the fuck not, and I x-rayed the lesson. I had to
Yeah.
confront that shit. This isn't just sadness. This is grief. This is
Mhm.
grief for a world I thought I would save by now. But I had to liberate myself. I don't need to be a savior to be sacred.
Mm-mm.
Yes, so this storm brought out my sexy soul with tenderness and grace.
Yes.
Mhm. And that sexy soul, that is our neurological recalibration. That's how we're going to recalibrate this shit, get out of this storm, and get our power back.
Yes. I
So,
know we have to keep it sexy over here.
oh yes, absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, because
Right.
healing is sexy.
Exactly.
Smiling is sexy.
Yeah.
Reclaiming our power. I like that.
Yes. So this is our neurological recalibration. Our sexy soul is how we're going to do that. That's our acronym. So first, we're going to seduce stillness. Seduce stillness, that signals your brain. Can you sit with yourself? Even if it's curled on the floor, in the corner. Make sure you inhale for 4 seconds, exhale for 6. Make sure you breathe. Welcome that weight. This weight is welcome. So seduce that shit. Seduce stillness.
Mm-hmm.
I exhaled my wild, sobbed into a pillow, released the ocean inside. Mm.
Woo, splash.
Yes, let that shit go. Woo. And then X. X marked my anchor, reset my root so I can press my palms on the earth or ground. You want to ground here and let yourself know I am worthy in weakness. And then Y, yield to surrender. I whispered, I don't need to fix this today. It's not all about perfection. And then I activated my soul activation. So I spoke my truth. I feel broken, but I am fertile soil. Opened oracle. Put my hand on my heart and ask myself, what needs honoring? Rest? Yeah, it's probably rest. Just that one tiny spark will do it.
Mm-hmm.
And united fire. This ember defies the damp. So I have to cleanse my energy system. I'm going to start with that base at the root. Need to ground, put my red panties on. Go ahead and put a little bit of red lipstick, but we're going to unite that fire.
Yes.
And then light legacy. Text a friend. Let them know I'm drowning. Come sit with me.
Right.
Even if you sit in silence, that
Even if you
tiny
see.
spark becomes the sun. Yes.
Right.
Hmm.
And
So don't
energies.
fight the storm. Exactly. Yes. Energy and the sun. So don't fight that storm. Let it water your roots.
Yeah, sometimes sadness wears a smile. And for a long time that was me. I was married but not happy. And the hardest part wasn't the arguments or the silence. It was realizing one day that joy wasn't coming back, that I had already grieved the future I once prayed for, and I didn't know how to walk away. But when you're a people pleaser, you don't just leave, you stay, even when it hurts. You keep showing up for everybody else while slowly disappearing inside yourself. I remember working like a machine, day in and day out, because nobody else was going to do it. I couldn't ask for help. My dad had passed. My mom lived 3 states away. I didn't have a tribe with me. I didn't have safety. I didn't even have a soft place to land at home. And I came to terms with God one night. I said, okay, maybe this is just life. Maybe this is just my life. Maybe happiness is for other people. That's when I knew I was in the middle of my sadness monsoon, and I smiled through it, pretending I was fine, when the truth was I was lonely, broken, and tired of being strong. I couldn't even open up to my wife because my feelings didn't feel safe with her. So I kept swallowing my truth and feeding everybody else. But the silence started to eat me alive. That's why this space right here, Soul Fire Session, matters. Because now I know just because I smiled through the storm doesn't mean I have to stay in it. I deserve joy. I deserve safety. And I'll never silence my soul again to make someone else comfortable.
Whew. I
Wow.
love that. Yes.
Yes.
You
I'm
watered
glad
those
you.
damn roots.
I'm saying you sprouting. I mean, I wish
Yeah.
the listeners could see my arms right now.
Right.
my
Exactly,
goodness.
because that's walking through it, because that's a
Yeah.
sadness monsoon where you're really connected. It feels like no way out. You
Mm-hmm.
feel
Right.
trapped. And the one person where you're supposed to feel secure with and safe with and can talk to and get through with through good or bad, you don't feel that with.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hmm.
that's yeah, that's a deep smile to.
I didn't have a safe place to turn to, so.
And then when you don't, that's how you curl up.
Mm-hmm.
But then that's also where you find yourself. So it must have needed to happen because everything happens for a reason.
Absolutely.
Right.
So now through all that pain, you don't have to hide behind it no more. Now you can smile. And now you look back at it like, damn,
Right.
Yeah.
that's
I
amazing.
made it through the hardest part.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, sometimes that sadness does show up with a smile. Madam Amani, what about you? How does your sadness soon show up?
My sadness monsoon didn't just tap on my window. Nope, of course not, right? It let itself in, put its feet up, and said, "Hey, girl, you got snacks?" And of course, me, I fed it.
Right. Here you
Mm-hmm.
go.
I fed it, "I'm fine" text. I fed it obligations. I fed it every yes I never
Mm.
meant. Well, I wanted to scream, "No!" All
Right?
while my soul was starving. I remember one particular week, I was doing everything for everyone. That's what I did. I was always trying to people please. I showed up for my job, my family, my friends. Even my dog had me on emotional retainer.
Mm.
Dang.
Dang.
And there I was, curled up on the bedroom floor like a Hallmark plot twist,
Whew.
still answering work emails with one eye open. Sadness doesn't
Mm-mm.
always look like crying. Sometimes it's wearing lashes, heels, and hosting brunch. But inside,
Right.
I was screaming, "Can
Mm.
someone please ask me how I'm really doing?"
Right.
Because the truth is, I'd gotten real good at smiling through sadness. I was Miss Congeniality of grief. But one night, I
Wow.
cracked open. I sat in the dark and let the silence stretch. No playlist, no Instagram quotes, just me and my ache. And then that's when it hit me. I wasn't weak. I was overdue for stillness, for softness, for saving my fucking self.
I know that's
So I
right.
Yes,
cried.
exactly.
So I cried loud, ugly, therapeutic. And baby, I swear the walls clapped when I was done.
Woo!
That's what I'm talking
Clap
about.
it up. Yes.
I love that.
I love that. That's what I'm talking about. Got through it. That's
Yes.
what we can all say. That's one thing we have in common. It may have been different times, different, and that's what it's like getting it from a divine masculine too. But we were
Right.
all trying to smile, act like everything was okay, and going through some deep
Hmm.
shit.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's crazy. That's amazing.
Hmm.
So I'm glad we're here now, and that's what brought us here. So we can
Glad
do
we
that
recognize.
rewiring teaching. Yes.
Yeah.
Through this sadness shit. So we got the sadness alchemy. Sadness and depression are enemies. They are unmet souls. So rewiring the storm, we have to stop resisting. That's like we were saying, we have to welcome it. So, because acknowledging it is the first step. So
Hmm.
sadness contracts when fought and expands when welcomed. So honor the gift. Depression equals your soul's strike for rest. Grief equals love with nowhere to flow. So that's what I had to realize, because it's like was holding on all this grief, and you feel like and it's like all I have is just a bunch of love to give. Like nothing's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Right.
all this, I have nowhere to go. So you just got to let it flow freely and where it's supposed to go,
Right.
where it's appreciated.
Hmm.
So,
Release it.
and then those tiny sparks, they ignite. Yes. Even if that's that one text, one shower, or one small breath, you need to ignite that tiny spark. And when you mark your anchor in sorrow, you plant seeds in the rain. What
Hmm.
happens when we plant seeds? We're going to be fruitful. And this
Fruit.
motherfucker, we got tons of fruit.
Yes,
So yeah, we
blossoming.
definitely want to plant seeds in the rain.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So my recipe is I get in my truck and I ride until the noise in my head settles. Sometimes I scream with no music on, just me and the road. Other times I sit in silence and let the tears fall without asking them to explain themselves.
Hmm.
Then I ground myself, and I mean literally. I take my shoes off, put my feet in the grass, and remind myself that I'm still here. That breath still lives in my body. That peace is possible, even if it's quiet. And when I get in my truck, I clean sometimes because creating order in my space helps me find it in my spirit.
Yes.
Sadness cannot stay stuck when you keep moving. So I don't fight it. I just make room for it and then I gently move forward.
Exactly. Yeah, we have to
Mm-hmm.
invite it and realize it and then see what we're going to do to shake it off. And that is one thing to clear your energy systems. To clear out the sacral chakra, you're going to keep movement going. So when you're moving, that's going to clear you out, move out that stagnant ass shit, just like taking out the trash. So I love that. Perfect.
Right. The deepest roots grow in the darkest soils.
Absolutely. And
Hmm.
so we're planting deep. We're going deep and
Mm-hmm.
we're pulling it out. We're pulling out greatness.
Yes.
Hmm. And so now let's talk about another storm that almost sank me, the imposter monsoon. Fuck. Damn imposter syndrome. That one gets me too.
Mm-hmm. It's
So
gotten
this
all of
one.
us.
Right. Exactly.
At one point or another.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Especially when doing this type of work. So hours before launching my first ebook, that's where it was kicking in for me. Also, the first episode of this podcast, y'all. Whew. Imposter syndrome crashed over me. Shadow screamed, "Who do you think you are?" I stood frozen, in storm mode, stomach churning, hands trembling, energy shrinking, that ice cold whisper. Just delay. Go hide. I almost hit cancel on everything. Then again, I had to pause hard
Hmm.
and embrace my climax. I confronted that crash out.
Mm.
I liberated myself. Playing small betrays my soul. So, I brought my sexy soul with ferocity. I seduced stillness. I had to inhale, of course, for 4 seconds in. I am the calm. Exhale for 6 seconds. Doubt, you are dust. So we're going to seduce stillness. And then again, I'm going to exhale my wild. I screamed in my pillow. I refuse to shrink. Marked my anchor. X marks the spot. So I stumped my feet and I said, I'm grounding here. I am unbreakable earth. Yielded to surrender. I melted into trust.
Hmm.
My soul knows the way. How to trust
Mm-hmm.
through process.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Then, of course, my soul activation. I spoke my truth. I feel terrible, but I am the bridge. Opened the oracle. Put my hand on my third eye. Redirected that shit. Had to try a new platform. Whatever I had to do, I just wanted to stay consistent. Consistency is power.
Indeed.
And then, so yes, I united my fire. Fist on heart. This flame burns through delay. So no matter what they were trying to stop, I was torching it down.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I lit my legacy. I added additional platforms. I upgraded all my pages and I brought myself a better experience. I started to launch raw, unpolished, unstoppable content.
Hmm.
So I redirected doubt's energy into unapologetic action. And so, Madam Amani, how did that damn imposter syndrome dress up for you?
Oh my goodness. Have you ever, Lady Rise or Devar, ever prayed for everything, had it, and then sat there like, oh no, they gonna find out I'm faking it?
Wow.
Oh, wow. Yes.
That was
That's
me.
deep.
That was me. Full blown spiritual identity theft committed against myself. I had just landed a management position. It was my moment.
Hmm.
I walked in, and my inner voice said, "Girl, don't trip over your feet. We don't belong here." I nearly turned around and walked straight back to my car. Like, you know what? Maybe this is not my time right now.
Hmm.
But I paused. I stood in the back, adjusted my crown,
Hmm.
figuratively and spiritually, and said
Exactly.
out loud, "You didn't hustle through heartbreak just to shrink now." So I
Mm-hmm.
stepped up. My hands were moist like biscuits
Hmm.
and spoke. Tears in my eyes, and said, "You spoke what my soul forgot it needed." And that's when I realized imposter syndrome ain't mine. It's the enemy's
Hmm.
last ditch effort to distract me from destiny. So
Wow.
now,
Exactly.
anytime that voice creeps in, I say, I paid the dues, I own the stage, and I invoice the divine.
Yes.
Indeed.
Indeed. That is so powerful because that thing will have us going down and have us stopping whole projects, big things that are meant for us. Listening to
Exactly.
imposter syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So you have to power through that. And I love that. Straighten that crown. Yes, because we do have it
Right.
spiritually, physically, mentally. We have our crown. We're going to straighten that shit out and
For
stomp on
real.
that storm.
Right.
So, Devar, what about you? How does imposter syndrome get you?
First of all, the way y'all walked us through those storms, the second guessing, the shrinking, the smile you wore while screaming inside, I felt every bit of it because imposter syndrome don't just whisper. Sometimes it yells. It tells you that your gifts are too loud, your light too bright, like you're trespassing in a space you were born to occupy. But you didn't just survive that monsoon. You came out soaked in truth and still shining.
Soaked.
And what I love most is that you didn't try to pretend your way out of it. You named it, you sat with it, and then you rewrote the story. That's what soul fire is. Not pretending. We're confident, but reclaiming ourselves even when we're shaking. So thank you for showing us how to dance in the rain until we remember we were the sky all along.
All
Mm.
along.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do. Turn it from a storm mode to soul mode. So,
Yes.
absolutely. That's how we have to do it. It starts with understanding that energy gear shift. And so, how we
Mm.
move from storm mode to soul mode, sexy soul mode.
Mm.
So, storm mode is when your energy shrinks, you're looking for protection, you're panicked, your breaths are shallow, your soul fire falters. And then in sexy soul mode, whew, you feel energy expanding.
Mm,
Let me say that for the people again. You feel energy expanding.
I like that.
hmm And your breath flows. Breath is power. Your soul fire blazes bright with
Oh my
creation, energy. You feel sovereign. That
God.
sexy soul mode, that's where I like to be.
Indeed.
So when you mark your anchor, like I did, and you ground the lightning, doubt becomes fuel.
Yeah, that stomp. That was earth magic,
Hmm,
Lady Rise. You plugged into the core of who you are.
exactly. Invited it all the way from the soil up. So absolutely, we have to remember the rainbow comes after the storm. So, Devar, does sadness cloud your sunny day? How do you dance in the rain?
Yeah, sadness does cloud my sunny days sometimes. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. Some days it creeps in slow, like a fog. You don't even realize you're in it until you can't see your own joy. But I've learned not to run from it, from the rain no more. Now I dance in it, not because I like the pain, but because I finally understand what it's trying to water my growth, my strength, and my honesty. When the
Mm,
storm rolls in, I don't pretend it's sunshine. I sit with it. I cry if I need to. I talk to God out loud like He's riding in the passenger seat of my truck.
yes.
I let the music hit me different. And when I'm ready, I stand back up and take one more step forward. Because, like you said, the rainbow only comes after the storm. And I ain't afraid to get a little wet if it means my soul comes out cleaner.
Whew.
Yeah,
Yes, then we're
absolutely.
getting all wet. Yeah, we're gonna drench it. If we're coming
For
out
real.
cleaner, we're drenching it.
Right.
Splash.
You definitely grounded thunder into grace. So that is some sexy soul alchemy. Madam Amani, can you expose your sexy soul moment?
Whew. My sexy soul moment. It wasn't in satin sheets or candlelight, that's for sure.
Hmm.
It was in a fluorescent lit bathroom at a job I hated, standing in front of a paper towel dispenser that wouldn't work. I was so tired. Not sleepy, but soul tired.
Right.
I was wearing a blazer that didn't fit my body and smiling for people who couldn't see my soul. I looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the woman staring back. She was decorated but depleted, polished but pretending, sharp but silenced. And in that moment, I said aloud, I miss me, just like you were saying earlier. You start missing
Right.
yourself.
Exactly.
I miss the woman who used to sing in the kitchen with no audience, the one who cried without shame and laughed from her uterus.
Mm.
The woman was
Oh.
wild, wise, and so damn radiant, even in brokenness.
Hmm.
So I had to make a decision. Not a pretty one, not a perfect one, a messy, holy one.
Hmm.
I took off the blazer, not just the fabric, but the role, the armor, the performance.
Right.
And I told myself, come home. I miss your fire. That night, I sat in my room, stripped off the titles, and played my favorite playlist. I moved slowly, sensually, not for someone watching, but for me. I
Mm-hmm.
put on my lotion like I was anointing a queen, because I was. I reclaimed my thighs, my scars, my muchness, my quiet power, my loud truth. And
Mm.
that was the moment I stopped seeking validation from the outside and started building altars on the inside. That's
Yes.
when I showed up. Not the version of me trained to perform, but the version who remembers. The one who doesn't chase love, she attracts it. Who doesn't shrink, but radiates. Who doesn't compete, instead creates. That's my sexy soul. I am the storm, the stillness, the sanctuary, and don't ask permission to take up space. I am the damn blueprint for sacred space. And now,
Right.
every time I walk into a room, I don't hope they like me. I check if the vibe can rise to meet me. Because once you reclaim your sexy soul, you stop begging for crumbs and you start serving gourmet boundaries with a side of sparkle.
Mm-hmm. With a side of sparkle. I love that shit. Damn, you
Yeah.
turned all the grounded hauntings into holy release. That shit
Yes,
is divine as fuck. Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
Any pro tips? Oh my gosh. Devar, any pro tips for this sexy soul, what we're going through right now? This is so amazing.
Yeah. Excuse me. That was a moment, a real raw moment, where I had to pause. I was in a heated argument, voice raised, fists clenched, heart pounding like war drums in my chest, and something inside me whispered, "You've been here before." And I had, not just in that moment, but as a boy, watching my mom try to hold it all together while my dad was gone for months. When he left after the divorce and the lights went off and we had to pack up and live with my grandmother, I learned early on what it felt like to be left behind, to be small in the middle of a storm that wasn't your fault. So here I was, a grown man with that same storm rising in my chest. So, see, I confronted that rage and realized that it wasn't about that moment. It was about that dad's abandonment fury resurfacing through me. It was little Devar screaming for stability, screaming for someone to show up. And I realized, hell, violence won't heal me. That fire I carried won't save me. It would burn everything I love to the ground. So I paused. I walked out of the room, sat in my car, and I cried like a man who finally was ready to break the cycle. And in that breakdown, something cracked open in me. That was my sexy soul moment. Because choosing peace when pain is familiar, that's power. That's me seducing stillness instead of swinging.
Hmm.
That's me grounding in my truth, knowing that my daughter deserves a version of me that's healed, not hunted.
Right.
Whenever I feel that old fire trying to rise up again, I remind myself this flame defies the wind, but I'm not here to repeat. I'm here to rebuild.
Yes. We are rebuilding. We're breaking those chains. We're torching the bullshit down because we're
And
rewriting the
that's
story.
powerful that you were able to cry, because a lot of men are ashamed of crying or something. They don't like to cry or something. So that's
Right. And so
awesome.
that's good. Yes. Because that's how you let it out. Crying is also how you water your seeds.
Hmm.
Absolutely. So great tips here, how we're getting through these storms and how we're bringing our sexy souls. I love it. What about you, Madam Amani? Any pro tips?
Just make your healing so loud your ancestors start to praise break, right? Um, no, seriously. Set the vibe, though. Light a candle, sing in your living room, cry in the bathtub, but say it out loud. I am the calm. I am the clapback. I am the comeback.
Absolutely. So we're coming back. Yeah, that's our tips. We're going to make sure we're checking on each other, checking in with each other and torching this shit down because this is powerful here tonight, getting through this
Yeah,
sadness because when you're sad, you feel alone and you feel like nobody else would be able to understand you or understand what you went through with this sadness that it creeps in. So
right.
yes.
Exactly. Like you said, the first step is acknowledgement.
Exactly. We're going to acknowledge that shit because that's how we're going to become that sexy soul. To
Hmm.
acknowledge that we need to.
Right.
So then, of course, we have our guided ritual to become the eye. We're going to be the eye of that sexy soul in that storm. So, first, in your meditation, you want to close your eyes, recall the storm that you had, or recall the sadness, whatever's crashing or dripping in on you, and make sure you seduce stillness. Inhale the peace and
Hmm.
exhale the panic. We're always going to make sure we exhale the panic just the same way we take out the trash. You wouldn't on trash day want your house piled up in trash and let the trash trucks go by without taking that shit out. That's the same thing we want to do with our energy and our souls. So we're
Yes.
exhaling panic, and then I exhaled my wild. Whether you have to hiss, say fuck, or hum, you want to exhale your wild.
Yes.
And then mark your anchor. I don't care if you have to stomp, touch your pelvis. Marking your anchor is X marks the spot. We want to ground.
Hmm.
So ground here, I am earth. Grounding will really help you out. When you connect your feet with earth, you can hug a tree, all
Yep.
type of grounding things that will reset your ass. And then yield. Melt resistance. You want to melt that shit away because when you stop resisting and go with the flow, makes things much better.
Hmm.
And then speak truth. I feel unheard, but I am straightforward, unapologetic about the boundaries I set. So make sure you clear out your throat chakra, the Shuddha, and
Please.
you are being heard. Please, because it starts with speaking up. When you're holding that shit inside, mm-mm,
Right.
mm, you're not setting those
For
boundaries. How can people hear the boundaries if you're not speaking up?
bad for business. Better speak
Yes,
up.
yes. And then open the oracle. What wants to be born? And unite that fire. This flame is mine. Reset your root chakra. Remember, your root chakra is everything you're located with your or associated with your materials, security, financials, physical and emotional. So you definitely want that to be reset and cleared out. And identify and journal about core fear. So if something's making you scarce, if it's about money, those are your main things, your foundation. So write it down, whatever you have to do. Make sure you're letting scarcity know that it does not belong here.
Right.
You want to consciously choose an affirmation of safety and worthiness. Set up automatic transfers if you have to for your savings, an emergency fund, or anytime you get money before you dish anything out to anyone else. I don't care if you have to give yourself $5, $20, $50. Give yourself something first. You're worthy of that. You worked for that. So speak positive words over your budget and your finances. Quit saying you're broke. That's a true fucking cuss word right there.
Really.
We lack nothing over here. We're rich over here. So light legacy. I will plant a positive seed. Today, plant seeds of healing, healing your family story, breaking those generational curses, kindness in your community, for seeds that will grow and bear fruit for long after this moment.
Yes.
And then feel that sizzling groundedness. The storm now bows to you. So, Madam Amani, what is your guided ritual to become the eye of the storm?
Checking in, closing the door, maybe light a candle, inhale for 4, exhale for 8, not rushed, not forced, just sacred. Place your right hand on your belly, left hand on your heart, and speak to yourself. I don't chase peace, I become it. Say it again until your bones believe it. And don't run from the storm. Light an incense, invite it, sit it down and talk to it. Become the eye.
Yes. So that's how we're becoming the eye. And guided rituals. We're going to be sexy in this shit.
Yes.
Devar, what about you? What is your guided ritual to become the storm?
Yeah, my guided ritual, honestly, it starts with silence. No music, no phone, just me and my thoughts. I sit still, sometimes in my truck, sometimes outside, and I just let the storm do what it's going to do around me. But inside, I don't move. I close my eyes and I breathe deep, like real deep, like I'm trying to breathe out everything I've been carrying. Then I ask myself, what's mine to hold and what do I need to release? Because not every storm is meant to be fought. Some storms are meant to teach you how to be still in the middle of it, how to become the eye of the storm. After that, I ground. I might pray or I talk to God like, I don't know where this is headed, but I trust you got me. And that's it. No big performance, just presence, peace, and permission to pause. That's how I get centered. That's how I don't lose myself because the eye of the storm by refusing to let the wind tell me who I am.
Exactly. Yeah, you're not going
Mm-hmm.
to let the wind guide you. We're guiding our own storm, we're setting our story, we're taking hold of that shit. So I love
Yes.
that. And that's what it is. Our climax that we experience pays off. That climax payoff let us stand in our sexy soul.
Mm.
And so then when we're standing in our sexy soul, we give others permission to climax, have that same experience.
Right.
So your stillness lets them confront chaos.
Yes, absolutely. Your stillness, yes. That's not silence, and definitely more strategy. That spirit is warrior. It's a warrior stance.
Yeah, it's a warrior's dance, and that's how we're stepping all over this shit. We're dancing in the rain, dancing in the storm.
Right.
Absolutely. And so that's how you make others climax, is by being unshakable fire. All right. So now, after all that sexiness and becoming the eye of the storm, we are going to gather around our community fire where you all can fire off any questions that you have about your climax or the calm in the storm, how to become your sexy soul, become the eye. Can fire off any questions you have for us. We'd love to hear from you, or anything you just want us to touch bases on or ask us about, or that you would like us to talk about. We'd
Right.
love to hear from you. So now we're going to recap how to bring your sexy soul recap. So just a reminder, grab it, put it in your journals. Make sure you're bringing that sexy soul. I want to see it. So you're going to seduce stillness. I am the calm. Exhale your wild. Sob, scream. That's that release, whatever you have to do. X marks the spot. That's your anchor so that you can ground here. Make sure that you're unbreakable ground. And then yield to surrender. I am river, not rock. So you're surrendering. So that's
Make
the
sure you're very
sexy
wet.
part. It's extremely. And then the soul activation, the soul part. You're going to speak truth, your soul's truth. So tell yourself how you feel, but then let yourself know what you actually are. I feel unworthy, but I am powerful. I am grounded. I am beautiful. I am strong. I am a masterpiece. You can go on and on. So open your oracle. What wants to be born here? What's going on? Is it rest you need? What's happening? What's trying to happen here? Is it imposter syndrome? And then unite with your fire. This flame defies the wind. Align your energy. Remember, that's aligning your energy, clearing all your chakras out so that once your energy systems are clear, it's the same as taking out the trash. So we don't want to stay full. And light your legacy. Make sure you act today. Start today. It's your legacy. So now, any final flames? Madam Amani, any final flames, final words for our listeners?
I would just tell you all, if someone can't handle your glow up, tell them to lower their eyes or wear spiritual SPF. And if they still complain, bless their shadows, tend to yours, because baby, tending your soul is the most revolutionary act there is.
Spiritual
SPF. We're gonna need that.
Oh my God.
Can we get that on the market, please? Right away.
Yes.
Spiritual
I need a can of that right now.
Right now, please, because they can't take it. And Devar, any final flame?
Yeah, sometimes the hardest person to show up for is yourself, but every time you do, you remind the world in your own spirit that you're still in the fight, and that's enough.
That is enough. Yeah. So, and the fight from ourselves, getting through the storm, acknowledging it, that's all enough. So I love this sexy soul tonight, this radiant charge. So our radiant charge is when the storm rages, stomp, ground, mark your anchor, then radiate and watch the world ignite.
And if anyone complains, tell them your soul fire made you do it.
Yes.
and bless their shadows. Tend to yours. All right.
Yes.
So this was Soul Fire Sessions. I love how we all brought our sexy souls. Until next time, make sure you stay grounded, stay unapologetic, stay unshakable. This is Lady Rise signing off until next time. We light shit up again. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss a spark.